Hello Millwall fans, Paul Eiffel here. It's time for Chat with Chaps.
Post-match analysis for Chat with Chaps, where it's just finished. Millwall 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. I'll say it again because it really did happen. Millwall 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. A really good performance, albeit West Brom fans, I think, a really poor showing from your side today. Some questionable selections as well from Ryan Mason, which we'll talk about. But I thought we were excellent. 7 changes. Alex Neil rung the changes. We needed the players to stand up and be counted, and they certainly did. And we go into an international break with a 3-0 win and claw some of that goal difference back from a dreadful showing in the week, although Coventry won 5-0 again today. So do think they're a good side. Before we get started, just want to say a pleasure, absolute pleasure to meet John today for the first time from the channel. John, if you don't know, he donates very heavily every single week and a significant contribution to my Shine Walk. So pleasure to meet you today. And of course, you also won the winning bid for the George Savile shirt. So it was a pleasure to meet you alongside Joe and present you the shirt. So John, a huge thank you for everything you do to the channel. Just want to say that. Alex Russell, don't need to say what you did today, but you know what it was, and I really appreciate it, mate. I probably wouldn't have been able to get there without what you did. So thank you very much, and thank you to all the well wishes. I know obviously we have a laugh and joke, but it's very much appreciated. All the well wishes, TT in particular, mate. Pleasure as always to talk to you. You're an absolute stellar gentleman, and great to talk to you. Great to see Danny. Thank you very much for the donation, David. Much appreciated. Always nice to see you. And am I missing anyone? No, I think we're about there. So I just wanted to make sure that I share those bits. Another exciting thing for the channel, just really quickly, bear with me, guys. Whilst I'm talking through this is your call to action to like it. Remember, it all helps us, and everything we do is for cancer research. So please just give us a like, even if you are a West Bromwich Albion fan. But we have secured a sponsor for the channel, which is fantastic news. All of the money from the sponsor goes straight to the charity, and it will be a donation on our page. If you have a look already, it is there. So Spectrum VR, welcome to Chat with Chaps. We're really looking forward to working with you. And of course, they'll feature on this more heavily. But all fantastic calls, able to, we want to hit that 10K mark, and that's a really nice donation amount for us towards that goal at the end of the season. So getting into the game then, 7 changes from Alex Neil. And it's quite interesting because those 7 changes, neither of them, and again, just my opinion, 2 of the changes I would have made and quite clearly would have got wrong would have been to change the goalkeeper and to put Crammer at right back and put Taylor in. So, and those were 2 of the changes that didn't happen. But he makes 7 changes. So the team is in goal, Stephen Bender, right to left, right back Ryan Leonard, obviously coming in, Tristan Crammer, Jake Cooper. Left back, one of the other changes, Zach Sturge. In the centre of the park, Billy Mitchell, partnered by the returning Massimo Luongo. And then the front 4, big changes there. On the right-hand side, Femi Aziz starts on the right-hand side, which is crucial as we start to realise just how effective he can be on that right-hand side. In the 10, Will Smallbone. On the left, Ballo gets his start, and Josh Coburn up top. No Rays Bangura Williams on the bench. I think that's the one that probably raised a few eyebrows. But again, you look at the bench, aside from Rays Bangura Williams, I don't know what's going on there. He's clearly a talent. So there's got to be more to it than just not being selected, in my opinion, because he's certainly someone that you think you would have on the bench at least to change games. So not sure what's going on there. Wes Harding drops out of the squad completely. Alex Neil acknowledges good players not being in the squad, but you look at the bench, and all of a sudden, your bench has got Negley on it, and Maku on it, Ivanovic, Kundal, Delboy. All of a sudden, Joe Bryan. All of a sudden, the bench, Taylor, starts to look quite strong. And of course, we've still got Casper and Alfie Doughty to return after the international break. West Brom, I don't know. I've not seen bundles of West Brom this season, but I watched most of the game against Norwich, and Illing Jr. and Josh Maja were good, really good. So was really surprised that they weren't in from the start. My only assumption is that they couldn't play 2 games in a week. And I think this is where, with the amount of games, managers have to manage minutes, right? And obviously it looks like we played a worse side against Coventry and got beaten for it, whereas they did the reverse. They obviously played, in my opinion, a stronger side against Norwich and won there, and obviously played a weaker side today. But I don't know what you think about that, West Brom fans. But yes, so I think to me it was like 7 changes, and we needed the players to stand up and be counted today. And I think they did. We scored 3 goals. I think Cooper, he gets so much flack, and I'm going to talk about Cooper towards the end of this, but scores a goal. Stands up, is counted, scores a goal. He went close earlier. We score 1 scrappy goal with Cooper, 1 individual moment of brilliance from Aziz, and then really pleasing, actually, the 3rd goal. We're actually getting behind the team, which I can't remember the last time I've said that. So that's really pleasing, and I'm really pleased for Zach to score his 1st goal. I thought he was excellent. Not quite my man of the match. I know he got the official one, but I thought he was excellent. There were 4 for me in contention, and I'll talk more about that as we go through. So 7 minutes, we have a chance. Ball kind of comes out to the edge of the area, and Billy has a shot. Definitely on target. Not sure it was going in. The keeper may have saved it, but a header and blocked away. 9 minutes, deep cross. The wind sort of catches it. The wind was awful today, but it's poor for both sides, right? At the end of the day, it's how you deal with those sorts of conditions. And I felt that actually the amount of times this season I have criticised us for not showing that physical presence, I thought we did today. I thought we battled. I thought we won most of the second balls. Alex Neil talked about it being a bit of a game of second balls, and I think that's where we come up trumps today. I think we did that very, very well. But yeah, this chance goes to the back post. I think it was Cramo who heads it back across goal. Or no, sorry, it was Coburn, and then Cooper, and it's well saved from the keeper. Then we do get the goal. It's a free kick. It kind of holds up in the wind. It's then recycled. And then Femi's cross, I think it's flicked on somehow. I haven't seen the goals back. And then Cooper's there to sort of flick it home. And I'm delighted for Jake Cooper, because he's dividing an opinion at the minute, in the sense of a lot of people saying bring him out of the team. I don't agree with that. I think he offers a lot. And I think that the challenge we have with Jake is people not separating Jake the performer and Jake the captain. Now, for me, Jake the player, the performer, I don't think he's regressed at all. I really don't. I think that because he's now the captain, he has more eyes on him, and I think that he isn't a natural born leader on the pitch. He isn't. But who else would you have as the captain? I think this was one of the challenges with the business we did in the summer. We did loads of great business, but we didn't bring leadership in. And I'm not going to talk about players that went out the door. It's not about that. It's about having leadership within the group. And when you look at the group, you look at the likes of who would you say on that pitch today are the main leaders? Would you say, I don't know, Leonard, who I think is the vice captain, Cooper, and then maybe you go Mitchell or Crammer? Well, 3 of them are out of contract in the summer. So, that's something else that the club need to resolve. Billy Mitchell's contract is vital. I thought he was excellent today. And I think it was either, for me, him or Femi Aziz, because Femi Aziz ultimately contributed a goal and an assist in his return. So Billy Mitchell, Femi Aziz, I thought were outstanding. Obviously, Zach Sturge and Ballo, who we'll talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, delighted for Cooper. And I think it was vital that we got the 1st goal today. I thought, by the way, and this is on us as fans, I thought the atmosphere was poor today. We're being 3-0 and we're still not really singing. It's a weird one, and supposedly a sellout crowd. Very odd, the atmosphere at the Den at the minute. Don't know tell me in the comments, do you think that's just me, or do you sense that too? But again, we got the 1st goal, and then Sturge at the back post after another brilliant bit of play from Femi Aziz, whipping the ball into the box. God, you can tell how much we've missed Femi Aziz. Some of these deliveries today were excellent. I've noted down here, I can't remember exactly what happened, but Ballo and Luongo do defensive work very well there. Then for about 5 minutes, between 34 and 39, West Brom have a little bit of possession, a little bit of territory. Felt they hadn't offered much, but a quick give and go between Johnston and Wallace It's a good ball in. And we give away a corner. And the corner here, the thing is, it's easy to look over certain things we don't do quite right when we win 3-0. And I'm not picking on him, but Bender's got to come and claim these sorts of things. Just watch it. If you watch it back, I'm sure Angelo's analysis will take note of this, but he's got to come and claim that on 34 minutes. It goes out for a goal kick, nothing happens, but these are the sorts of things where on other days it can. 36, ball into the box from Johnston. Crammer does superbly well to kind of block that. And I think Sturge blocks it. On 38, another break. Wallace, kind of a really good move. I think that he sort of plays the ball over to Styles. Styles then puts the ball into the box. No one follows it up. And that was kind of that 5-minute patch, which, this is football, right? Where we said the same against Coventry. As bad as we were, if we had had that chance, I think we were 1-0 down where Ivanovic could have equalised. The whole complexion of the game changes. We have a chance right on half time. Aziz again, and the keeper does well. And then we see it out to half time. Obviously, a number of boos at half time. This time, not for our players, but for the referee, who I think it was Tim Robinson. Poor performance from him, in my perspective, for both sides, actually. Second half, I thought the first 5 minutes we were really up and at them. Ballows, Sturge, Aziz sort of really in the faces, created some good opportunities and nearly moments. On 54, the referee deploys this 6-second rule, which I don't think I've seen all season, but he does. I suppose if it's 6 seconds, then he has to give it, right? But the corner, it sort of ends, it's recycled, and it ends up with a shot sort of narrowly wide following their corner. They start to make some changes. And again, I just find it odd with Madger and Ilian Jr. not playing. What I would say, West Brom fans, is I think your fullbacks are very weak. I watched George Campbell against Norwich, and today I think he's poor. I know you sold Furlong in the summer, but I think that George Campbell's poor. And I also think that Callum Styles can offer some good bits of sort of on the ball quality, but I think because of his height, I think he can be targeted. And I think, obviously we did that today. Alex Neil said in his post-match that he targeted Callum Styles. He said that, I quote, "He's not a proper fullback, but I'm sure he plays week in, week out for you as fullback." So I think the fullbacks were poor for West Brom. I think we won the wide battle. Then we score that goal, right? So the goal, I can't remember how it gets to Billy, but the ball comes to Billy, and this pass to Femi Aziz is outstanding. It's also a great run from Femi Aziz, and then the rest is down to him, and this is where, because he's playing on the right, he has the ability to do that. It cuts in from the right-hand side, left foot, whips it into the top corner. It is an outstanding goal, probably goal of the season for us already. And that second goal just settles the nerves, doesn't it? They had a bit of possession at this time, never really broke us down, but getting that second goal really kind of took the wind out of their sails, I believe. And it was just a phenomenal goal. And obviously, as I said, Aziz, for me, right up there with man of the match, because goal and assist on your return, you can't ask for much more than that. And I think today you could see just how important he is and how much we missed him. I did feel as though we started to tire in the middle of the pitch. Obviously, later on, I think Mitchell was to go off. I also think you could see today just what Luongo brings. Luongo seems to really divide opinion. Like, quite a few people around me won't repeat it, but ring the expletives about him. I just don't see it. I think he brings a lot. I think he reads the game superbly well. I think he's a real calming presence. Yes, at times he looks unfit, but he covers the ground. He does. I think he adds a bit of leadership in there. He knows when to put his foot on the ball. I thought he was brilliant again today, to be honest. And I think he's proven to be a very, very astute signing. I think you can also see that it gives Billy a little bit more license to get forward and play some of those forward passes and to be the central midfielder that goes ahead and presses. So I really like him. I really, really do. We then get our third goal, and this goal is brilliant. I don't know how we regained possession. It could well have been Ballo. In actual fact, it might have been Sturge starting and finishing this. I don't know. But I thought Ballo today this pass was fantastic for Sturge, and obviously a great run. But as much as that was great, I thought Ballow's best work was defensively. I thought he was excellent defensively in terms of tracking back, putting his foot in. I thought he was really, really good today, Ballow. And I think he did a lot of things that could go under the radar. But the amount of times he won the ball back, I thought he was excellent, Ballow. A really good performance. And just shows you, having that quality. And it's good for him. I think, is that his second assist? No, I suppose it's not, because Cooper knocked it back for Coburn at Swansea. But obviously, Ballow did put the ball into the box. Perfectly weighted ball. And then Sturge with an emphatic finish into the roof of the net. Really pleased for young Zach. Really pleased for him to be back in the starting lineup. And I thought, as I say, an excellent performance. And he was voted man of the match by the fans. And, you couldn't really argue with that. But as I said, I think there were 3 or 4 that could be. And this is where Millwall was just, it's just, we're getting thumped 4-0 at home. And then next minute, we're Olaying in the 76th minute. It's just bonkers. Coburn, Smallbone, and Mitchell go off. Kundal, Ivanovic, and Del Boy come on. I mean, that is to have that. That is where you look and you've got depth. Also, Negley's come on at this point. And I've just noted down here on 85, Negley doesn't get rid of it first time. He does end up clearing it, but it doesn't go. Only goes to the end of our box, and they have an opportunity on goal. Leonard absolutely tears into Negley here, and I love to see that. Because that, to me, is what a leader is on the pitch. What are you doing? Like, we're, just throwing the ball, giving the ball back to them. And I love to see that, because we often moan that we don't have enough players that tear into people and give it the bollocks. And I really like to see that from Leonard on Negley. Negley gave the ball away again, by the way, a little bit later. I think, to me, the defensive work that Femi and Ballow did today shows you why at times Negley's a luxury player. Having said that, I don't think, and maybe I need to watch it back, but I don't really recall Smallbone having much of an influence on the game today. Some decent passes, I think at times again, you can tell he's got that extra bit of quality where he just finds a pass. But I think to have him and Negley as battling out for the 10, and Reyes, obviously, whatever's going on with him, I'm not sure. But we've got good options there. Luongo has a long-range effort on 89 minutes. But overall, I think a good performance. But again, I think a poor side. I really do. Probably the worst side I've seen down at the Den this season, quite frankly. Not sure what's going on there. But yeah, I think, look, what I would say is that, looking at some of my notes here, it's funny because the amount of possession that we had on Wednesday night and lost, West Brom had that possession today and we won. So when we don't have the ball, we're better. I said this on Wednesday and it proved it tonight. We were clinical today as well, which is has been unlike us. I just realised I don't think Langstaff was on the bench. Was he? Let's have a look. Was he one of the other ones that was dropped out? You're probably screaming at this is what happens when you do it all in one take. No, he wasn't on the bench. That's another player that missed out. It's nice to have these options. But yeah, I think my sort of overall summary would be, I'm really pleased for Jake Cooper. He's taken a lot of stick, and I think unfairly so. I think he's vital to the team. I think he's vital to the club. Whether he starts every game next season, I don't know, but I think you've got to get his contract sorted. The same thing for Billy Mitchell. I think he was outstanding today. Covers every blade of grass, rarely gives the ball away. He's tenacious in the face. I thought he was excellent, and to me, he was joint man of the match with Femi Aziz. Get his contract sorted, Millwall. Like, what are we waiting for? What I don't quite get is, we're able to sort out Ivanovic's contract, a player that, quite frankly, has not really looked interested all season, and quite rightly found himself on the bench today. But we can't sort out someone like Billy Mitchell. I just don't get that. Someone at the club, please help me understand that. I don't get it. We need to get that sorted out, because I thought he was excellent. Alex kind of alluded to in his post-match that he was at fault for his setup against Coventry, which he was right. He was. He said he set up a side to have more of the ball, which we certainly did, but that backfired massively. So good for him to acknowledge that, albeit kind of slyly. And we got it right today. At the end of the day, if we'd have made 7 changes and lost, he'd have quite rightly got a load of flack. We made 7 changes and we won. And there you go. And it just shows you what a weird league this is, because we now find ourselves 8th, joint with West Brom on 14 points and a point outside the playoffs and 4 points off second. It is the most bizarre league. We say it every single season, but I think this season is going to be even tighter. So, look, enjoy the international break. As always, I want to thank every single person that likes the show. If you haven't, please hit that like button right now. Please hit the like button. Leave a comment. Whatever. It just all helps the algorithm. We're growing nicely. We've got some really, really good content to share. Craig Heskey and Colin Cooper will be out very, very soon to give you something to listen to during the international break, because I quite frankly now can't wait for the QPR game. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you as always for listening. And of course, bye for now.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.